All right. I'd like to do a quick demo of this points pivot thing since it's something new, and I know that some of you might have some questions. And I'm going to use an example of some data here from St. Ignatius College, which is a school in Lusaka. So the first screen that I showed you was where you're analyzing divisions. So you can see here I can pull divisions and put it on the rows area. So remember what I've been talking about with regard to this pivot table. So you have places where you can put things that appear in the rows. So this is the rows area, and then these fields here appear in the columns like this. So you're seeing these are columns, and then there you got the filter area for those things that you just need to filter. Then this is what you're analyzing, the data area. So here we're simply counting the number of pupils. All right. So here this pivot table shows that for each of these divisions we have the following number. So here we have the year, we have the term, and then for each term we're showing the females and the males. All right. You can also remove this year, for example, if you know that it's only 2019. You can remove. By the way, up here is where you choose which years you want to analyze. So you can say, okay, I want to analyze from 2017 to 2019, or from 2005 to 2019, whichever years that you want. If you only want for one particular year, then you just select that same year and then click on view results. All right. So like I said, here we are seeing the divisions, and then we are seeing for each division how many males, how many males and how many females, and then here you have the term total. Again, the same thing for term 2. So if you know that you only want term 1, for instance, then you can filter here. You can filter here, remove term 2, and then say OK, and then now it only shows you term 1. So this is only term 1. Then you can also filter by year. For example, if you have many years, then you can just select year that you want, but now there's only one. If you only wanted, say, a particular gender, you can also filter the same. You might also maybe want for a particular class only. So if I go to class name, I can pick a particular class here. I say, okay, I only want this particular class. You see that? So I could do something like that. I say, okay, I want this class, and then it would come. But now in this, and then if you wanted more things, more filter, if you want more filters, you can click show field list. So you can see there's this small window that pops up. I can drag it like that, so you can see these are more of the fields. We have sections, we have session. If you want to filter by a particular session, like, okay, let me analyze only afternoon. Actually, if you want, if say you've got two different sessions, right? If you have two different sessions, you can even compare the two sessions like this. So I can bring in sessions here, but they only have morning. So if we had a school that has afternoon and morning, then you can actually compare divisions per session, and then I can remove, say, gender, then I just leave the session. So then I'll be seeing side by side the sessions, afternoon and morning, how they're performing. Usually it's expected that maybe the mornings perform better, I don't know, but yeah. But you can do something like that. Just like here, we were comparing the genders. We were comparing by gender, males and females. So this is a comparison. You're seeing that there are more males who are getting more of this. Maybe because this school has got more males and fewer females. That could be the reason. So then you can pick other fields that you might want. For instance, if you want to analyze this by let's compare between day scholars and boarders as an example. So we removed the gender, and then we just compare between day scholars and boarders, and again you can see that the majority of pupils at this school are day scholars. Okay, so again these numbers may not really reflect a it's not really an equal ratio, but you can see, you can see that this number of boarders got this. So this is one thing, and then you can remove the division and say I just want to view points in the base 5 or points in the base 6 as an example. So if I put points in the base 6 there, this is showing you, for example, those who got 0 points in the base 6. You got 1, and then you got 3 day scholars. Let's also remove day scholars because we're not interested in that now. You can show more pages here. You click refresh, and then it will show you for all the points. So these are really individual points. So whoever got, for example, 10 points, it will show you. So we can even put a gender now. If we want this, we can put gender here. So it will show us those who got 10 points. There was 1 female, 4 males, those who got 11 points, those who got 12, and it keeps on going and going and going. Now notice that it shows even points like 100 and something. This is because we are seeing both junior and senior. Okay, so oh, not this. If we do this, if we show this and bring in the section there, and then on the section I filter by, I only want the senior. Okay, so if I say I only want the senior, you see that all those that have to do with more than 100 points disappear. For seniors, seniors the maximum should be 54. You know, if somebody got 9s in all subjects, then it means like it's 9 times 6, which is 54. So you can see those who got who failed everything, you have 4. Then those who got 53, and it keeps on moving, going just like that. So this is one thing you could do. And then of course you can also say I just want to view points in maybe in best 5. You can have something like that. Okay. Yeah, and then if say you want to analyze, for example, attendance, maybe I don't know if these people recorded anything to do with attendance, but there was nothing there. But if you're recording attendance, then you can see, for instance, how many attended 50 days out of 60 or 63 days in a term. So you can also analyze that, or you can analyze which pupils are kept by particular. So here we only have parents, we don't have any guardians, but you can see, you can try to compare the divisions or the performance versus the custodians. You know, maybe that might have an impact. Maybe those who are kept by parents perform better than those who are kept by guardians. You can do something like that. You can also compare the overall positions in grade and in class and all that. So basically this is it, and below here you have a chart. So this chart gets updated every time you change things up there. Alright, so we can remove some of these labels. Like here we know it's only 1 year, and we know that we're only analyzing term 1, so we can just put that into the filter area. We can also remove the custodian, and then just leave this gender versus division, so we're able to see this. And then here I can click refresh chart, and it shows me, no, now you see that it's showing me a bar chart here. There are several charts that you can pick from, but it's showing me a bar chart, and look at what it has done. So in the series it's using the divisions as a series. Okay, but now I want to use the sex as a series, meaning the grouping. So I will say do that and show me the chart labels. So the gender is here, and this is what I want to put in the series as a, you know, like the legend there. So then it puts the divisions down there, and then it puts the, so for each division I can see, okay, for division 1 there are 3 females and 23 males and all that. So you can change this. If for instance you wanted to do it for a particular class only, let's say I only want to view for oh, actually this is for 12. So if I only wanted to view grade 12s, for instance, I can remove everything and select 12, and then it just shows me grade 12s. This is all their performance, you see. And then you can change the chart and say, okay, maybe let me view a pie. You can have something like that. So this shows you, this is a pie chart. Now sometimes you might see these percentages, you see 100%, 500, 1500. Just click refresh again, you know, and then it will this is because it's switching from a bar chart which shows absolute numbers to a pie chart which shows ratios. So that's why sometimes it does that. But if you click refresh, it will update this, and you can see now this is showing you of all the females. Okay, so these charts have got different semantics. This means of all the females, 16%, okay, got division 1, and then 83% got the red, which is division 2, of all grade 12 females. This is what this chart means. And then this chart shows that of all grade 12 males, the majority of them, about half of them, got division 2, and then 34% got division 1, and then you have smaller percentages who got division 3, and then a 6.9% who got division 4. So you can see that there were very few failures. So amongst the females, there were no failures here. It's only division 1 and 2, you can see. So the females are doing much better as compared to the males. The males, of course, you've got a small number of those that failed. But you can also see that division 2 is dominating. That means there are a lot of pupils who are getting between 13 and 24 points. Okay, and very few who are getting between 6 and 12 points. This is what this chart means. But you can also flip this and say, well, I don't want to analyze it this way. I want to see per division how many or what is the percentage. So then you simply remove this, generate series from columns, and then you say refresh chart. Then it changes. So now this means per division you're trying to see, the ratio of males and females. So this shows you that in division 1 you have 9% females and 90% males. So again, you can see that males are dominating when you look at per division. So you can do this kind of analysis, these kind of things, and then you can change the charts based on what you want. Let's say if you wanted to view maybe a stacked bar which shows these things side by side. All right. So again, if it's bar chart, we have to change this to that. So here it simply puts everything together, and it gives you a similar view that you can see that there are more males here. The red is bigger. Again, there the red is bigger and all that. But on the other hand, this is why I say that this could be because there are more males at this school than the females, and this is why the numbers show like this. This is 10 to 1, that is 15 to 5. So that's a ratio of 1 to 3. You can see. Yeah. So basically, this is your analysis. There are different things you can do. You can check how many passed certain subjects, how many failed certain subjects. So you can do something like this. Let's see if this is actually even possible. If we say, let's see subjects that were recorded. Okay. Remove the divisions. So subjects recorded, you got 7 and 8. Okay, let's compare this against past subjects. So if we put gender there, oh yeah, maybe we can just leave the gender there. So what this means is, this is what it means now. Subjects recorded here in the rows, and then you have gender and then subjects passed. So which means for all the females who had 7 subjects, okay, what does this mean? Okay, so this row, it means there were actually no females recorded 7 subjects. So the 7 subjects were recorded by the males there. You can see that. So there was one male who wrote 7 subjects but only passed 3. So you can see the number there. So I hope you understand this. Look at these numbers. So here we have the subjects recorded, and there we have the subjects passed. So on your left it is showing you the subjects that somebody recorded, and then there it is showing you these columns are the subjects that were passed. So you can see that of those who wrote 7 subjects, of course there were no females. All the females wrote only up to 8 subjects. Okay, and there was this one male. So this one here means there was one male who wrote 7 subjects, but he only passed 3 out of those 7 subjects. And after that, of course, there are no other. All right, but for these other numbers, for those who wrote 8 subjects, 4 females passed 7 and 2 females passed 8, which means they passed everything. All right, and then you can see the total there for the females. Then for the males, of all those who wrote 8 subjects, 1 passed 4 subjects, 2 passed 6 subjects, 5 passed 7 subjects, and 20 passed 8 subjects, meaning 20 passed all the subjects that they wrote. So this is another interesting thing that you could actually do when you do these matrix comparisons, where you put one field here and the other field there, and then you try to compare them. And this is something that you could actually do in your analysis. And like I said, you could also do comparisons of sessions, or sections. You could even do a comparison here. Of course, maybe it might be unfair to start comparing junior versus senior to see how they're performing in terms of how many are passing which subjects and all that. But you could try to do something like that, because here instead of putting gender, we might say let's put sections instead, so that we compare sections. Actually, we put sections after subjects passed, and then we're only viewing senior here, but let's also include junior. So we do something like this. Okay, let's see. Oh, I think I filtered only by grade 12 here, so that's why it's not showing me junior. So let me say I select everything. So that's one thing you need to be mindful of when you're doing this filtering. So now you can see here, oh actually yes, I'd forgotten, those results that I was looking at were actually only grade 12. But now we have everything. So what this means is this: of all those who recorded, like all those who wrote only one subject, so this is what this means. Those who wrote one subject in junior secondary, one failed, that's M1, that's M1, so, which means they got 0. Two in senior secondary got a 0, meaning they didn't, they didn't pass that same, same subject that they wrote. So you can see that for those who only wrote one subject, there are very few. There are only a few here, and they all failed. They failed the very subject that they wrote. So as you go up, you can see, for instance, those who wrote 8 subjects. So out of all those who wrote 8 subjects, you can see that one failed, meaning passed 0 of the subjects. So this one person wrote 8 subjects and passed none of them. This is what this means. Okay, and then these two here in senior secondary wrote 8 subjects but only passed 1. And then you have 2 here in senior secondary who wrote 8 subjects but only passed 2. So this is what these numbers mean. So here you're seeing what they wrote, and here you're seeing which subjects they passed, how many subjects they passed. And this is what this analysis tells you. So you can do these comparisons, and then they can help you with your decision making. And then, like I said, you can view the charts down here. You actually can refresh, except that this is quite big, so your charts might be, it might not appear very well. But let's see if we refresh the chart and see how it makes it. Yeah, so what this is showing us is those who wrote 8 versus how many subjects that they actually passed, and then on your in your legend you can see then the subjects that were that were passed. So this may not be very nice, like you generate in a chart for everything. So it's better you filter, for instance, that okay, I only want to see those maybe who wrote up to 8 subjects. I forget about everyone who wrote 1, 2, 3 subjects and all that, or maybe you can say I only start from those who got 7 subjects going up. Okay, if there were 6, you could have said only those who got up to. So then you can see here we filtered by the subjects recorded, and if you refresh that, you can see that down here it's showing you subjects recorded, and then this here is the subjects passed. Okay, so you can also even filter there and say, okay, I'm only interested in those who let's say maybe those who failed, if you want to see those who failed, or you can say I want to see those at least who got they wrote 8 subjects, and out of the 8 they passed 6 and above. Okay, so you do something like this. So you can see that now this reduces, and then if you do that, then it shows you now this. So these wrote 7 and above subjects, and this is how. So this blue color down there, that is those who passed 6 subjects. Maroon there, it's senior secondary. So this is senior versus junior. Okay, in other words, then you can change, from a stacked bar you can maybe use a proper bar so that you're not confused, and then you have something like this. So it can show you the colors and the different things. So this shows you that these wrote 7 subjects. Okay, they wrote 7 subjects, and 6 of them passed 6. Oh, sorry, 14 of them passed 6, and then you have 24 from senior secondary who passed 7, and then you have 44 from senior secondary who passed 8. Okay, so this is 8, meaning this passed 8 from senior secondary, and this one passed 7, this one passed 6. Yeah, so a graph like this one might be a bit confusing, but the table is actually much clearer for you. And then if you want to export this, you can take it, you can export it to Excel. So I can just do something like this, wait for Excel to show up, and then I would have my so there I have my pivot table in Excel. So it shows me the same things. Those who passed, How come that my headers are hidden? It just shows these groupings. Yeah, somehow it has actually hidden my headers. I think because of the groupings here on top there, you can see. Yeah. So yes, so this is it about this analysis. So there are different things you can do, and it's really up to your creativity. If you have questions, please, you can ask. Don't hesitate to ask. Great.